Today is all about how we're going to live with Sully going home. That's what this video is going to cover. It's going to cover, actually I got a tip also for other people struggling with dogs who have just general anxiety to help ease that anxiety by using the training. And hopefully we can help some other dogs while we do this video here. So Sully is anxious just kind of at a default. He's kind of a quiet, anxious guy. Even when he's quiet, he's anxious is what I'm trying to say. So there's the obviously anxious Sully, and then there's just the quiet but still anxious Sully. What we're looking for is the calm guy who's let all that go, which he has given us. And he does give us over and over again. He's giving it to me right now. I just put on, you see the breathing just changed because I put on my backpack, which indicates to him that we might be going outside. So what I'm doing is managing the stress. Stress starts, listen, right? Tap on the e-collar. Interrupt it. Okay? That's just going to be an all the time thing, and it becomes less and less and less and less. It'll probably take close to a month going home, very strict living, before we see this go away like this. Or he'll be better at self-managing it. Okay? So that's me helping him out. That's me letting him know. So here's what I've discovered that the best way to work with him as far as how to give the commands. I'm going to begin a chain of commands, and before I do that, I'm going to say his name. So he's chilling in a down right now. Nobody's disturbing him, and he's not expecting me to recall him or anything because he's in a down. I told him we're going to be there a while. Once I say his name, then I'm going to give a chain of commands. And then I'm clearly going to end that chain of commands. This is very important for him because if I don't end it, he's going to be waiting for you to give another command or release him. So I added another sound in to end the chain of commands for him. And this, I'm seeing already, just started this today, I'm already seeing it make it easier for him to relax, okay? So, I say his name, Sully, come, go forward, heel. Now I can do whatever I want, and now we do an activity together. Now we're together. We could go out the door, we can literally go out for hours, and then come back and me just using these commands, never leaving command, right? But when I am ready to place him somewhere and I want him to know that I'm not going to be interacting with you for a little while, I'll tell him one of the stay commands. I'm going to use down. Down. Good boy. And then I'm going to, that sound is going to lock him in place, okay? That lets him know, don't be going. It's almost like stay, but I use that sound naturally and it's been coming out. You can use stay if you want to, but whatever sound you use, it means we're done. So if you catch him after that sound looking at you for guidance or waiting for you to recall or release them, it gets corrected, okay? Okay, so I shush and then I tap at a 6 and I seal the deal here. He's waiting now. So in theory, the way this works is things happen in the environment now, whether we're at a restaurant or not, and he has to ignore them. I'm just throwing stuff on the ground. Random things here, sorry. But the idea is that's what that means to him. He knows that. That's the deal. This is why it's important to use his name if you can while he's home and it's quiet around the house before you enter into the chain of commands. Because if I didn't do that, he's waiting to hear just me say C-O-M-E or B-R-E-A-K, something. He's waiting for it. I will let him know, I will say your name, you look at me, and we'll go from there, okay? So now, no matter how much time has lapsed, it could be 30 seconds, 3 minutes, or 3 hours, I come back to him, I say his name, start an interaction. Sully, heel. Good boy. Now I could have released him there too and just played with him. But I don't know why I didn't, but you can do that too, but I went into work. Good boy. Missed you, bud. It's been a little while. Right? And then sit. Now we're still, see, watch this. See how he's looking at me? I didn't tell him we're done yet. He knows he's waiting, but he's still within working mode, right? He's not in that down. He's not waiting. He's waiting for the next command. But he's not doing it with a turned off mind. You understand? He's focused on it. He's focused on it. I don't want this level of focus on me when I want him relaxing though. It causes anticipatory anxiety, which we've talked about. So he's looking at me because we're still within the framework. I haven't ended the session yet. Come. Good. Heel. That's my boy. Now I'm going to let him relax. Down. That's a good boy. And then shh. And that one, that noise means we're done. I'm not going to bother you right now, anytime soon. It could be 10 minutes from now, it could be 30 minutes from now, but you're going to be there a little while. So it takes the anxiety of him. You see him in the sit where he was a little bit more looking around, waiting to hear the words. He's working and he's focused. But if he's on place for 5 hours and he's still doing that, waiting for you to release him, we're patterning his brain to do anxiety for a long period of time. He gets programmed to be able to have anxiety for quite an amount of time whenever there's a stressor. So we don't want him practicing that. We want to turn off the brain right here. So that helped him, that extra layer of communication. I say his name, start a chain of commands, and then I end it with that shush, and it tells him that it's done, okay? All right, so you can use this on place, and you can use this with the downstay. All right, and now I'm going to release him. It looks a little different. Slowly. Break. Good boy. You know, it's almost like you turn a car on, right? You turn on the lights and stuff, you just see the hips go, and then I turn on the acceleration. When I said his name, he got ready. He was like, yes, sir. And then I could say whatever. I could say break. I could say any of the commands. I could literally start playing ball with him right now. But as soon as I give a working command, then he has to calm down, right? If I say calm, as soon as he gets to me and sits, he has to start calming his brain down. That's his job. See, I just said the word calm, and he was already there, and he associated it with this position being a calm space. We don't want our dog starting off work mode really accelerated in the mind, okay? So if he makes an error and he's in command, his body position's right, but his mind's a little stimulated, I just can go shh and click, or just silently click on here, and he knows that means to relax. So from here, watch, I'll give him a very low number here, but as soon as he feels it, I have to go up a little because he doesn't feel that 4. Here's a 6. He assumes that means to relax, so I can interrupt the anxiety. I can tell him no to things he's looking at in the distance. Oh my gosh, talk about a stress reliever for the human, because you know you have control and you know you can communicate clearly. So now he's in that mode. Also, by the way, I double tapped him here while I was in it down. That throws him into that calm space where he knows he's going to be waiting a little while and that he's to ignore the things around him. And that could be if you're just sitting here talking to a neighbor or anything. You're going into a store and you're ordering your food, that double down's nice because it tells him to relax. Now he doesn't have to be in a double down. He can be up and experiencing as long as he can do that with a calm mind. That takes a more experienced dog. He will turn into that guy who does not need to be in a double down. You'll see this very calm dog laying but no anxiety. Then there's no need to put him in a double down. Right? We use this to get them where they need to be. This fights anxiety. This is a coping skill really for the dog. Okay? It's a way out of the anxiety cycle. Solid. See, I didn't just say, here's the thing, but I made a mistake. I would just say the B word or a command randomly. And, sorry, bud. And because he's such an anxious guy, he's now waiting for that sound. So if I say his name first, he knows no command is coming my way until he says my name and I look at him, then the commands start. He doesn't have to worry about them randomly just happening, okay? Sully. Break. Good boy, Sully, you're doing great. And that's gonna help him so tremendously going forward. I wish I would have started that in the beginning. I just stumbled across it, and I feel like it's going to be big for him. So, very good. Now let's get on to some practical, actually daily routine stuff. All right? He sleeps in the kennel, right, bud? Mm-hmm. He sleeps in the kennel. So when he wakes up, you open the kennel, and the first thing you do is put the collar on, okay? Because now we have a way to communicate. From there, you really only have a couple options, right? You either say break, and he goes free throughout the house, or you say heel, and he started work, he started the program. He's going to follow you to wherever you bring him, calmly, and usually we bring him to the back door first thing in the morning, put him in a sit, open the door, say break, and let them do their business. And then you can see how we use all the training. A few minutes later, we recall that dog back to the door, put him in a sit. You see, we use the sit to transition so that they're holding still. There's nothing worse than recalling a dog and then you're trying to get a leash on, and you're trying to do something, and they're moving all over the place. So that sit, you're gonna notice we put before everything, right? From the sit, just back to the heel. Heel, right? We can walk all over the house like this. We don't need this long line, we're not outside. This guy is so tight with this heel. And beep on the collar also gives them an extra layer of information. No need to correct, it's just information with that beep. The correction will happen if he doesn't listen. Good boy. And look how tight this is. I can go in and out of rooms, I can spin. Good boy. This is fun for you and him too, right? Because it bonds you. You can do this through the woods, all into the house. We can come in here. Good, I can turn around. And if he hiccups, I just push beep just to remind him. There's no stim there, it's just a noise. Just to help him out. Good boy, very tight. It's a very good feeling. And then from there, if you're on a walk or something, you can go from there, go into the sit, and then release him into the environment, let him sniff around. He has, it takes like 30 seconds. They mark a little, he's ready to move on, it's back to that heel. And it gives us a massive amount of control, and it allows him to have a lot of fun too, right? Good, so, but we're still working, you can see the mind, right? So if I want to turn that off, I have to tell him we're done, okay? So, shh. And now he's still learning this from me, so I'm going to teach him what to do with that. Shh. Okay? I'm telling him to turn off. This is so helpful for him. Look at his mind, how it transitions. And he doesn't have to worry about me now sneaking away from him over here and say, one of the command words and causing him anxiety because he doesn't know when it's going to happen. And what if I don't get it right? Right? I can say his name. Then he's like, okay, now we're starting. Now I get to pay attention, look at his hand signals, and figure it out. And I'm noticing me altering the way I'm interacting with him has given me so much more trust from him, because I'm able to help him with his mind. That's really what we're doing. He's a stubborn dog, but he just needs help too. He needs somebody there to snap him out of the anxiety cycles. And the more we get his brain living in this space, the more that'll be the default that he goes to without you having to ask. So we want to turn him off like this. I know it sounds terrible, right? Like I'm just turning him off and plugging him in, but the thing is, this is me saying, I think you should take a break. I think you should stop being stimulated for a little while. And that noise means, do that. Because if you don't, you hold them accountable, because you can correct them for not sitting here and just relaxing. Dogs don't know how to relax, they don't know when to. You're going to teach them when's a good time to do it. And what you're going to notice very fast, which is really cool, if you're very consistent in the patterns of the day, the order of events of the day, it doesn't really matter the time. It just matters the order of events. If you get that in a groove, this guy is going to be satisfied, and he's just going to snap right into that groove that you got him in. Not that you can't take that day and switch it up here and there and have fun, but you'll have this nice kind of default day. So the best thing you can do with your dog when you go home is start what we call burning trails, which is like finding out how you're going to move him around the house, from the kennel to the door to the place bed, the hot spots, the things you're going to have to be doing a lot. And you work on healing him to the door, sitting, letting him out, letting him back in, bringing him to place, and really just doing these trails throughout the house that he's going to be doing a lot, and teaching him to be well behaved when he's doing it. So if you want to do it, you just do that. You can use these trails. You can put distractions up in the house to see if he's going to be committed to you, or is he going to mess with your commands. This is all good to do during week 1. But once you get this work done, you never have to do it again. Your dog's done. You just live with them. But you'll be doing a lot of setting things up. You'll be putting them on plays, but like the first week or so, or week or two, you're going to be sneaking around and knocking on the door and seeing if he triggers and correcting him if he does, because we need to get all of his associations to change, and we can only do that by having these conversations directly, and the only way to do that is to set them up, really. If you let it real life happen, then you're never prepared, the dog's not on the command, or the dog, you don't have the remote, it's all the way across the house. You want to set these up so that he sees the real thing as like not worth it, right? He looks at it and like, I'm not going to fall for the bait anymore. And then life becomes easy. So now he's practicing good behaviors and we're patterning new associations, and that changes a dog for the lifetime of the dog. That is the real secret sauce when you change the way the dog views the world. But you have to do that by using this training to reshape the way he views the world. It doesn't take very long. It might take, in 2 weeks, you're gonna see some amazing stuff. In 3 months, your dog's gonna be, these problems, you're gonna be like, man, I can't believe we lived with those at one point, okay? And plus, he's gonna get better and better upstairs, all right? This is the medicine for his mind. We only see dogs that continue this stuff properly get even better and better, more mature, more stable, more well-rounded, better judgment, just very good dogs. So we keep it up, okay? 2 weeks is not nearly enough for this guy. He needs a whole, I mean, you're looking at 3 to 6 months, maybe a year of just working on him, And then, say it is a year, but then you get all these other years, and I'm telling you it's worth it, of just an awesome guy that you don't have to fuss with, okay? So, let's go outside, and I will show you. First of all, here's a couple triggers right here. Speaking of a trigger, he's in relax mode. Look what happened to the eyebrows. Did you see it? Okay? He hears it, now his job is to self-regulate. My job is to make sure he's self-regulating. So his job is to self-regulate, my job is to correct him when he stops self-regulating. Okay? This is really what's going on here. So, this is rehab. You're going to be doing rehab at home. Because you got the skills to now. You do. And it will bond you. If you take this training and you bring him to an even better place, it'll bond you so much. A bond that just lasts a lifetime. Okay? That's my boy. He's doing very good. That's my boy. I see a guy who's really trying to do exactly what he's supposed to do, and that's all you can ask from a dog. Then, on top of that, if you get a dog who's trying as hard as they can, then you just need time. And time, with a dog who's trying, solves so many problems. I would have said all, but I haven't seen all the problems out there in the world yet. But it definitely solves what we see. I'm proud of this guy. He's a good dog. I didn't realize how old he was, so I was wondering, it makes sense
2 or 3
now that he's not a puppy because things are patterned in him. So that's why we see him struggling more than some of the year-olds that are in here, because he had done it for like years. So it's the way we know dogs learn is through associations, and they're just burning patterns in his brain. Like he just reacts. This is just how he reacts. These are the behaviors, and they just repeat them. The more they repeat them, it's very hard. It's like it's making. If each behavior is just kind of like the way it was explained to me is like a record and a needle. The more it's played, the more it kind of burns through the record and leaves deeper grooves, right? And this is how the brain works with patterns. It snaps into these grooves. And once you change that and you say no more on that groove, you got to start a new one. It takes some time to build a groove so you don't slip off the track so easy. You know what I'm saying? So we really got to be careful what we allow our dogs, how we allow our dogs to live, because it really gets sunk in up here, and it's harder to change. But you can change it. It just takes more of a traumatic and memorable experience. Like he has to go away from his house, live somewhere else. Like it's a big deal. It's like rehab. It's the most we could possibly do. Just to set him on the right track, because he went so long. So we want dogs to get trained and under control very young. Okay? So he's still going to get there. It's just harder on him. Here we go. We are going to hook him up to my backpack. And I'm going to show you how to take him for a walk, how to let him have some free time and have fun. What we know about him is he loves to mark. And dogs who love to mark, you can use that as a reward, because that's what they're gonna do anyway when you release them. So that's what I do, I just play that game. I know what they wanna do. What they wanna do on the walk is they wanna hit certain locations, the same ones over for the next 20 years or 16 years. And you can literally walk around your neighborhood, go into the hot spots. The dog loves it. And that's what we're gonna do, but it's gonna be under our control. And the dog is gonna learn that we still let them do the things that they like to do within, the boundaries of what's not being a knucklehead. And all they gotta do is listen. So, this is about the time when the dogs have to say, this training thing's not so bad. Okay, so there's anxiety. Head popped up, boom. Head breathing got heavier, okay? I tap on the collar. Okay? Shh. Okay? Because I have to interrupt that. Remember, I can't let him live there. I don't want him to associate stress and anxiety with these activities. Okay? Okay. So we interrupted that. He's now self-regulating, doing really good. I appreciate that. Heel. Oh, I messed up. See what I just did there because I'm new at this? Sorry, but I really do want to start saying his name before I take him out of rest mode. I really do. So, I'd say Sully. He'd look at me. We have this moment. Heel, right? It takes away that anxiety. Okay? It's a hot day, so I'm going to be running a little bit just to run over the cement because it's really hot for his paws, and I'm going to go quick. Here we go. Heel. So, come on over. We're going on a walk. Now this could be around your neighborhood. I'm using trees in the lawn to show you hot spots around your neighborhood. Spots that your dog enjoys, that is safe, that he can go and explore. The dog will appreciate this, and it really does a lot. Dogs are very satisfied doing this activity. A lot of dogs are, and he is no exception. So here we go. We're gonna be using a structured heel, get to a location, put him in a sit, get some eye contact, release him. Let him have a little space to have some fun, mark, do whatever, scratch his back, and then it's recall, back to me, back to the heel, to the next location. And we just do this on the walk until we get home. When we get home, we get some water, and then we go on place and wait for and then I get to go do whatever I want, and he waits for me, right? This is a beautiful pattern to use. The dog's satisfied. Heck, he can even get a treat on the place bed, or something to do, as long as he's chill. No playing on the place bed, but you can have a chew toy, a chewable bone or something, or a Kong with peanut butter. Okay? Heel. And off we go. No leash, but if you're walking around the neighborhood, have a leash. Now, he's not allowed to sniff. He's not allowed to go out of position. Mine's not allowed to get stimulated. Is an auto sit, but if he doesn't sit, you're going to tell him to. Break. Go ahead. He did just pee there earlier, so I guess you don't feel a need to. Okay, we're going to go to the next tree. So he's done. He would have did whatever he was going to do. Heel. We'll go to this guy. How you do it, your little pockets of freedom. Break. It's funny, he just peed on that tree, so I thought he would have peed again because Briggins would have. Good boy. Okay, now he has his break. Watch it. He tells me when he's ready. He's already done. Here. Go to the next place in the neighborhood. You see what I mean? And they could be 5 minutes apart, 10 minutes apart. It doesn't matter. Whatever your normal routine is. Just don't give them. See, you got corrected for that right there. Don't give them freedom while we're going to the place, and then freedom at the place, and freedom home, and then freedom in the house. It's like, no wonder. Okay, no wonder. So the more structure you use, the better they're gonna be, okay? The more structure you use and the better leader you are, the better performance you get from these things here. Break. Go ahead, bud. Go have some fun. And he really loves his free time, you know? We do the similar thing on the trail, on the hiking trail. Find cool spots to go check out and then use that structure to travel again. Okay, watch, look, he's like gonna check out over here, but you see him getting bored already. They're ready to move. Instead of going himself, he's getting used to coming to me to go. See how cool that is? That's sweet, right? Heel. A little beep on the collie, we'll put a little fire under his butt. Okay, we'll go to the next place. And this is just such a good exercise to do for leadership, but it's fun. You're a unit, you're a team. And it's like you're yo-yoing your dog, right? You're keeping them here, you're letting them out, you're bringing them back. You're keeping them here, it's like a yo-yo, you know? Sit. Break. And I know he loves to explore, so we just go to different spots to let him do that. Good boy. Is that it? There's nothing over here? Come on, there's gotta be something over here. Not worth it, huh? Huh? Not worth it. So you can have a ton of fun doing this stuff like this, and you can be safe in that world out there, because we know, you know, everybody with your dog, you generally, if you're like me, you're looking for a little piece of nature with your dog with nobody around. And so I try to find those places wherever I'm living, and that's where I use my structure to get to those places, and then I let the dog free, and we really just have a great time. And then it's back to structure, because that's what we need to live in the modern world in order to stay sane with these guys, right? Heel. Okay. What a good boy. Such a good boy. And we had fun, so if we have our walk, we go inside, we go to plays. You know, until the next thing. So it's just, there's no room for anxiety, there's no room to worry. Everything's taken care of for him. Heel, come on. That's my boy, huh? Heel. Now follow me, we're gonna finish this up. I'm actually gonna put it on the floor for right now because it's hot and this floor is nice and cool, and I think he'd appreciate that because I'm a softie. Just kidding. But watch, see the anxiety, right? But first of all, I'm gonna go get him a drink of water right after this, but let me finish this demonstration. You come inside, you put him on place, or you put him in a down after he gets his water. And then down. If he doesn't relax, I'm just gonna let him know. A little tap on the collar. Until I see him make an effort to completely relax. And then, and now he's more relaxed when I leave. But you see, now he doesn't have to worry about me giving him a command until I say his name. He turns around, he looks at me, and then we start having a conversation. So it takes that stress away of randomly hearing these commands from left to right. And I just notice it takes that stress way, way down for him. Okay? So it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. He's doing really good. It's time for some water, some relaxation. Good boy, buddy.